Hey, we're back with our last Friday morning Theotek podcast. That's right. This will be the last time we're going to do a Theotek podcast on Friday morning, or at least for a while anyway. Not that we're doing our last Theotek podcast. I'm Kevin Purcell. This is the Theotek podcast. That's Wes Allen.
Hi.
And that's Rick Mansfield.
Good morning.
And we are going to be moving our recording time from Friday mornings 9 a.m. to Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, we're doing that to accommodate a couple of our team members who would like to be with us more often. Antoine has taken a new job, and that's not going to allow him to do it on Friday mornings. And, of course, La Rosa, you know that he's a regular, but has not been able to be a regular every week for quite some time because when we moved to Friday mornings, that kept him from being able to do it because he's out on the West Coast. So starting either next Tuesday or the following Tuesday, we'll decide that. I think just next Tuesday, guys, right? That'll probably work out for you.
Right. Yeah, we'll do a skip over.
Tuesday. Next Tuesday night is right now what we're saying that we'll begin doing that. But tonight, or this morning rather, we want to talk to you about CES. What is CES? Rick, give us a little rundown. What do you describe what CES to those who might not know?
Well, it used to be known as the Consumer Electronics Show, but now it's just CES, and it stands for nothing in particular. And it is a large gathering of technology companies, often minus the really big companies like Apple and Microsoft, and it's a place where everyone can converge and catch everyone's germs and go home sick.
Yeah. Now none of us have actually ever been to CES. I tried to get a guest who was there this year, and just he couldn't make it. But what's the big deal for Theotek? Why would we care, and why would we even mention it here, do you think, Wes?
Well, I mean, this is where all the trends are going. So this is kind of where wearables made their splash. It's where tablets get introduced. It points to the trends for the coming year. And so if the church is trying to interact with this thing, it's just something that you want to be interested in.
Right. Okay. So let's just get into it. Now, most of you, if you're a regular listener to this, know that I, aside from being a pastor, also write some articles for GottaBeMobile.com. And if you go to GottaBeMobile.com and just search for CES 2016 Excellence Awards, you'll find what I'm going to show you here. We had our team, the company had their team there, seeing all the cool gadgets and stuff, getting hands-on and taking a look at it. And so I'm going to go ahead and share this and just let you know. We just thought we'd talk about some of the things that that team thought were really cool. And starting off, their best of CES was this Samsung Galaxy Tab Pro S. If you're a Samsung fan, you know that they've had the Galaxy Tab Pro line for quite some time, but it's been an Android tablet up to this point. And this looks like Samsung's attempt to create a Windows device that will compete with the iPad Pro and the Surface Pro. Rick, you were kind of interested in this. What makes you find this kind of interesting?
Well, what's really intriguing to me about it is, I haven't seen one in person, but this caught my attention when it was first released. It's very thin, and it looks like it's very similar in form factor to my iPad Pro, and I really like the form factor of the iPad Pro. I like how easy it is to carry, and so it intrigues me that you would have a larger Windows machine. It's what is it? It's 12 point what inches? Do you remember? Does it say 12.1?
Trying to remember. I don't see this. 12.3. It says
12.3. So it's only mildly smaller than the 12.9.
It's like the Surface Pro 12.3, so it might not be the same exact size.
And the one that's there's one that Engadget had an article of that's white that looks exactly like my there's the white one. It looks exactly like my iPad Pro, practically. I'd really be interested in seeing that in stores and getting a hands-on. But again, to have the to have a tablet that size, that thin, to be able to carry around with you, that has a full Windows operating system, and for me, of course, that always means programs like Accordance that I want to carry with me, to have the full experience. But that's intriguing. I'm kind of excited to see that.
Has a USB Type-C port. They're likely. Let's see here.
I think this is going to be the year of USB Type-C. I think that's going to be everywhere going forward with every new machine.
Looks like they're going to offer a LTE version for those who want that. That'll be interesting to see. I did my review of the Surface Pro 4 on notebooks.com in order to. The review was focused on how well does it handle notebook tasks.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it, trying to say what would I recommend, I said if you forced me to give up either my iPad Pro or my Surface Pro 4 at gunpoint, first of all, you would have to be at gunpoint for me to do that. And but you said I'm going to take one of them and you have to use the other one 100% of the time. I would I would definitely, reluctantly give you the iPad Pro and keep the Surface Pro 4. And so this idea of having a tablet that is also doubles as a notebook, it'll be interesting to see.
Here's my question with it. The resolution doesn't look to be as high as on the Surface Pro 4. It's not like drastically lower, but it's not quite as high. And it looks like they're estimating prices are going to be about the same as the Surface Pro 4. So what does this give you that the Surface Pro doesn't? That's my question for this.
If you're obsessed with thinness.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't have the kickstand. The Surface 4 build quality is incredible.
Right.
And I'd have to agree with Kevin. If I had a choice between an iPad and using a Surface, I'd go with the Surface, which is.
Well, yeah. If I had to, because of what I do, I would rather use the iPad, but I still have things that require a full computer.
That's where I am.
Well, if it gets this 9 hours that they're promising, by the way, it says a 12-inch AMOLED display.
Okay.
Okay. Now, have you guys seen the AMOLED displays on the Samsung tablets and stuff?
They look overly saturated to me. So I wonder if they're really improving the technology.
Yeah, I've used lots of Samsung products, and the ones I haven't, I've tested a number that I didn't get to keep, and then I bought a number, and I love them. I think they're beautiful.
Cool.
But if you really get this 9 hours of charge on it, well, that says it says 10 hours. I'm sorry, 10 hours claimed battery life.
Right.
Comes to the Surface Pro 4's 9-hour charge. First of all, the Surface Pro 4 never gives me 9 hours. I don't know who gives 9 hours on their Surface Pro 4. If anybody is, they're running the Core M. They're running their screen at like 20%. They turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
Right. And I've told you that on my iPad Pro, I'm not getting the promised 10 hours at all.
I just think that size of that screen, you'd have to have a huge battery to get that. Now, I do get, with the latest update, the latest preview build of on the Surface Pro 4, I'm getting about 6 to 7 hours, which is pretty good considering how powerful. It's a Core i5 processor, and I've run it with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 100% of the time. So anyway, that looks like a really interesting tablet. I want to see the keyboard. It's got does it have a touchpad? Yeah, it looks like it has a touchpad. I want to feel the touchpad. I hate the touchpad on the Surface Pro 4's type cover. I don't use it. When I'm at a table or a desk, I immediately pull out a Bluetooth mouse. I've got the Logitech Anywhere MX2 Anywhere mouse. It's beautiful. It's a great Bluetooth mouse. So.
And Kevin, am I correct that it only has one port, the USB-C? That's it?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think that's correct. On a tablet, I would doubt it would have many more than that. Because even the Surface Pro 4 only has one. Well, no.
So you're getting thin USB-C, AMOLED display, and promised 9-hour charge.
Right.
And hard drive is.
And it's only 4 gigs of RAM.
120. Let's see.
128 or 256.
Right. 128 or.
I don't think they have an 8 gig of RAM option, do they?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what are they competing with? Like what virtues are they competing with the Surface on? Is it And is that enough to really go, yeah, I'll go with that instead of the Surface?
Look, Samsung puts billions of dollars in marketing, and Microsoft doesn't.
Right.
So the marketing alone may be enough to
May flip it over.
flip it over. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's an intriguing device. It says it will start at 999 euros. And so that's the Surface Pro 4 starts at $899, which is in euros. What's that? Like 700 or?
No, the euro. It's what's the conversion rate? Euro is stronger than the dollar.
Yeah, it's like $1.3 to a euro, I think, or I may be wrong about that. It changes. But let's move on from that. That's an interesting. It's interesting, and I can see why. Got to be mobile. We're a mobile website. Why this would be the best mobile device out there. It may not be for the average general public considered the best, but it's pretty interesting. One thing that might jump out at our good friend Wes here is the Nikon 5.
Yes, that did jump out at me. Although I have to say that I went with its younger cousin because I can't afford a full frame camera.
Okay.
So,
what's the younger cousin? Remind me.
It's the D500. I had to look it up.
Okay.
I mean, for folks who don't understand, like digital cameras, the sensors are up until full frame is all a fraction of the size of the image you would be able to capture on old 35 millimeter film. So a full frame camera is the exact same as film, and then all the smaller sensors are crops of that. So the D500 is the same sensor that I'm currently using. So like I'd be able to use my current lenses and stuff like that. But I would love one of those cameras. They just look wonderful.
Huh. No, I don't want to chat with you.
Let's get to know each other.
Yeah.
The cool thing is, like, I showed off, or I talked about how I took one of those TP links and turned it into a router for my camera, so I could use it as a live viewer and stuff. The camera's now got that built in, so like it's less to carry around. Burst mode's really cool. The ISO goes really high. It does 4K video. It's pretty nice.
Do you shoot 4K video?
No, I mean, I know Rick's is pushing to get everybody future-proof. I don't have anything to watch it on yet, nor do I have the storage capability to really handle going full-board 4K. Well, so I'm holding off.
I told you.
But in the next couple of years, what's that?
I told you what happened to me. Since I had the 128 gigabyte iPhone 6s Plus, and I'm thinking I'm going to future-proof all my videos. I'm going to shoot in 10K now. And so at Christmas, we did a lot of little videos of the family and stuff like that, and I shot all this 4K video, and I filled up 50 gigabytes of space, and then my phone was stuck for a long time. And in fact, because I have it set on to optimize the iPhone storage, so I'm thinking it should have all this stuff uploaded and it should give me my space back, and it did upload everything. I tracked that, but it took me applying the new whatever the new beta was that came out this week. Once I installed that, then it gave me some of my space back. But that's a warning for shooting these 10K. The 10K videos. We need a much larger drive on these phones for that, and anyone with something small, I would not recommend it.
Well, you're going to fill up a terabyte that quick.
Yeah.
You had the terabyte iCloud plan, and so that's my problem is I don't have the storage yet. I'm hoping in the next year terabyte SSDs come down in price. That was an interesting track last year because I had fully expected SSD drives with larger capacities to reduce in price, and they stayed flat throughout 2015. So I'm hoping that prices start dropping on that, and we can move fully to SSD storage. But that's my big problem with it is that I don't have the storage capacity to handle that stuff.
And I assume it's really nice, but I have nothing really to view.
Yeah, I'm not going out and buying a $3,000 TV. I just got a nice big 1080p TV, and I'm sticking with that for a while.
Well, if you are in the market for a 4K TV and you don't want to spend a lot, I can recommend what's the Best Buy brand? Insignia, is that it?
Oh, Insignias? Okay.
They have a panel that it's made by the actual panel itself is made by one of the other big companies, and I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. But we bought one earlier this year because our 1080p set in our bedroom was dying, and it's beautiful. It's got a really nice screen. And it's not probably the best, but it's good. But getting back to the cameras, I used to be a huge camera enthusiast. For me, it's just been a time issue. I just don't have the time to just go shoot for fun anymore. I wish I did. I should take that time because it would get me out of the house and out from behind a desk. But I like the idea of DSLR, but I haven't pulled my DSLR out hardly ever in a long time. The last time I did was my son's last soccer game because I thought, I want to take some really good quality shots because it's his last soccer game.
Yeah.
And I noticed that my zoom lens is clicking, and so there's a problem with my 200 millimeter zoom lens. It's 70 to 200 or something like that. So it's not working properly, and that's because it sat for months. The previous time I used it was in the summer, and before that time it had been almost a year. My phone takes shots that are just amazing. In fact, in our trip to Ocracoke, of all the pictures I took, the best shots I took were on my iPhone with my Oliclip. And so I think
there's just certain things I really like doing with my DSLR that I just can't do with my phone, because I do shoot RAW. I like to do color correcting, and now I have a gray card to do real good color correcting. But I will go with you in one of my great struggles in shooting with the DSLR, and this camera solves it, is that I would like to be able to do some light processing and share it right away. If I'm at an event, specifically if I'm out covering an event, I don't want to have to sit down at either my tablet or my computer and upload it and edit and do it. I want to be able to have that handled wirelessly, and I can do that with my little mini router. But it's that's another thing to set up. And this does it automatically. I can, you can connect to your phone, and you can take the picture. You can put it on your phone. You can do your little edits, and then share it right away. And so for if you're like doing any type of light photojournalism, this becomes really helpful. And even for just normal sharing with ordinary people, it becomes really helpful. So that's what intrigues me about this.
Okay. Well, let's jump down. The next thing that Gotta Be Mobile picked was the Chevy Bolt. Either of you guys excited or interested in electronic cars?
Oh yeah, I would love an electronic car.
Is this the one that's the plug-in hybrid, or is that something else?
No, this is total. This is their first total electric.
Total electric. Okay.
So and it's got a nice range. It's supposed to charge fast too.
Yeah, and under $30,000 is the big thing, because up to this point, electronic cars have been kind of
they've been way pricey.
Too expensive. That's been my thing about this whole electronic car movement is, I get that lots of folks are real, environmentally conscious and that kind of thing. I think it's a wash because of the production of the battery often is just as bad for the environment as the exhaust from the car. But it's not gonna turn the corner until it actually saves people money.
Right.
That's when it'll catch on, and at 30,000, that actually might start to happen. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's got to be 30,000 and look nice. That's, and I've seen Teslas on the road around here, and they look phenomenal. And there are benefits to electronic cars even beyond the non-pollutant. Is that with an electronic motor you have instant torque, so there's no buildup of power. So acceleration is pretty good, even on a lower power car.
And I'll tell you, my wife has the Chevy Spark. And she's I've been very impressed with the build quality. I mean, it is a small, compact car, but it's it looks like a little roller skate on wheels zipping around. But it's but I not having had one in a while, a Chevrolet product, probably hadn't had one in 10, 15 years. I was very impressed with it.
Yeah, they've certainly turned a corner.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, and then I'm more interested in the cabin options. At this point, what are they going to do interfacing with Apple Car or Android Car and things like that. So, all right. Well, the next thing, an accessory MacBook USB. You're the only person that has one of these MacBooks with the USB-C. Is that something like this excites you?
Yeah, in fact, I've got one of those pre-ordered. What works with that one? There's a number of these out, but they have to have, to me, they have to have the power pass-through, which that one has, because to me it does no good to be able to connect all these other devices that are going to draw power, and then all of a sudden your batteries run down.
Okay.
What's interesting is is there a video pass-through though?
Well, that I don't remember. That would be interesting to know. whether
yeah, because it only looks like it has the one USB-C.
I mean, you would have to probably plug in one of Apple's dongles, and so the question is, will that still work? Because it's only got the one C port. So you plug in one of Apple's dongles, like this one, and this is HDMI. And so, but then there's a place for the pass-through, and so will the pass-through still work going through two devices as far as power goes? That's a good question. But I do have one on pre-order.
How much are they selling that for?
I don't remember.
Is it $50 or $40?
It was reasonable.
The price is on here somewhere. I thought $40 through the company's website.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. So Hitachi makes some good stuff. You know, I've got a PR contact with them, and unfortunately I don't have a MacBook or any USB Type-C devices for me to justify requesting one of these, but if I did, I'd get one. All right.
Skip.
Anybody football fans?
What is the point? Can someone please tell me what the heck the point is?
I think the point is everything is going to be connected, and they can do stats with this. That's the key, being able to do stats.
This is for your high school football player who is wanting to make it to the pros, and he can use this to do his.
Or they can automatically check the air pressure of the footballs.
There you go. That might be worthwhile. So let's move on to tablet number 2 on their list, Lenovo ThinkPad X1. And did any of you see this or?
Go ahead, Rick.
I wasn't going to say much. I was just going to say if I saw it, it didn't stand out because I don't remember. But from that screenshot that you had there a second ago, Kevin, I think it's a comparable image quality to what was on the earlier Samsung.
Yeah.
No, it's got a higher resolution. It's 2160 by 1440. It has a 16 gigabyte option and up
That's
to
good.
1 terabyte SSD.
That's good too.
Now it starts also at $899, which is the same price as the
Surface Pro. Now that's interesting.
So
have they stopped spying on their users?
Yeah, I think that Lenovo got hit hard on that, and probably you're safer now buying a Lenovo tablet than anything else because.
Yeah, and I honestly used to love looking to see what Lenovo was coming out of, and ever since that happened, I have not paid attention, which is probably why I missed this.
But you know what you just said, Kevin, about you're probably safer now since they got all the attention. I thought the same thing about Chipotle, and oh well.
Yeah, well, that's not always the case. Lenovo
my Chipotle
makes great products, and until I have a laptop in right now, it's an MSI gaming laptop. Until I got this to review, the best Windows laptop that I've ever reviewed that I didn't buy, my Surface is the best, is the Lenovo ThinkPad TS line.
Okay.
So good that when I found I used one on Craigslist, I got it, and now my youngest son is using it. Since I got the Surface Pro 4, I've given it to him because he's going to need a computer that he can take to college in the fall, and it's got plenty enough power, even though it's a little bit older, that he'll get that in college for a few years. So I'm pleased with Lenovo, and so that might be a good option.
$900 is the starting price. Is not bad at all.
No, it's not. How about the Fitbit Blaze?
This was really interesting because they released it and then their stock tanked.
And is there any reason why? I don't know.
I think because they were coming into a mature market and investors were freaking out that they were going to go heads up against Apple and Google.
Okay.
It's the only thing I can think of. There was nothing about this that I thought was fascinating, but again, I'm not a wearable guy, so.
But Fitbit has been the kind of the leader in the wearable market that's not a smartwatch.
Right.
And so now that they're creating a Me Too smartwatch, I think that was the concern with the stock. But that doesn't mean that this is not a good watch. I haven't seen one. It may be just fine. It may work just great. But I think that's what the stock reaction was.
Yeah.
Well, here's something for the kids: the Lego We Do 2.0 kit, robotic modules. I loved Legos when I was a kid, and my kids enjoyed them. So, did you guys play with Legos when you were young?
Yeah, Legos and robots, sign me up. I'll just take that now. Thank you.
I'm still excited, right?
Not just for the kids.
No, I want that.
Yeah. But we'll jump on. This is something I'm actually somewhat interested in. I would actually like the Ring doorbell.
I will have that in my next house.
Yeah, I don't want to put it in our current because it's a parsonage. We don't own it, and so I'm not sure if I'm willing to try to install such a thing. But yeah, I could. I don't know. I don't think they would have a problem with it. But this is the sort of the Ring doorbell without the doorbell. I guess it's a security cam that you put outside your home. It also has the chat feature, so you can talk two-way talk. It's got a speaker and a microphone on it, apparently. And at $200, that's probably a great price for a security.
Yeah.
And you can access it remotely. So someone can ring the doorbell. You can say, "I can't come to the door right now," and you might be clear across the country, clear across the world, accessing it through your phone.
Yeah.
And so that's it. And I'll give you a case for this. We've determined that we evidently had a package stolen off of our front step at Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were out of town. We had a neighbor checking our mail, but the neighbor didn't come in until evening, and it was a Christmas present I'd ordered for my wife, and I didn't realize it, sadly, until earlier this week. I thought, I ordered something that didn't come in, and so I looked it up, and sure enough, it said it was delivered December 22nd at around 12:30. And so our neighbor who was checking our mail, she double checked to make sure it didn't fall behind something, and I checked with another neighbor who sometimes sees packages out front and will put them in, and no one has it. And so we're filing a claim, but I was the one who signed up to have stuff left at the front door. So I mean, it's going to be a loss. Fortunately, it wasn't too expensive, but that's the case for it right there. If someone steals your stuff, you'll have video of them doing it.
Yeah, that's true. Because this has a sensor, isn't it? A motion sensor.
Yeah, it's a motion sensor, and it records video, around the time of when it has motion.
Interesting.
Yeah, that would.
How do you hang that outside? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Do you put it in like a bubble,
with
or
the Ring doorbell? You take your doorbell off and you screw it into the holes with your doorbell. It's got the speaker doorbell. This, I'm not entirely sure. I guess you would just mount it. The way you might mount any security camera, screw it in, and but the difference is there's no need for wires because it's wireless, and it has a battery that will last up to a year. Which that's pretty astonishing if you've got a motion sensing camera, a Wi-Fi, and a two-way speaker and microphone in it. I don't know how in the world it can last a year unless there's some kind of I don't know. That just sounds amazing to me.
I saw that and immediately thought I wanted it for my church.
Yeah, that's what I think. That we were talking about that. That's kind of this is a real cheap church security system. Now the cloud recording, I went over to the page that our folks wrote about it. Cloud recording allows you to save up to 6 months of video for $3
a year.
$30 a year.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. I'll do that.
People who are hesitant about subscriptions, they should, realize that.
Right.
Here's the way it's noticed in this video. Look how it's
They just had it hanging up.
See, they just screwed it on. So that looks pretty.
How do you disguise it? That's what I want to know.
What's that?
Said, how do you disguise it? That's what I want to know.
I wouldn't want to disguise it. I would want it out there so people see, hey, they've got a video camera.
Yeah, right. That's the camera existing alone is a deterrent.
That guy walking up to the door right there, if there's a
right.
camera where he could see that, maybe he just wouldn't even approach the door.
Yeah, like, oh crap.
Or they'll think there's something really good in there, and they'll figure out a way to get there without getting caught by the camera.
Yeah.
That's my great struggle. So.
It's day or night. So.
Yeah, it does infrared. I like that, and we actually looked up how to do a video doorbell for church a few years ago, and it was just cost prohibitive. And this
there you
is
go. Ships in early February.
$200.
Pre-order it now.
Yeah, and we're about to get a new secretary, so that would be a good time for that.
I'm seriously thinking about suggesting this to our because that for $400 we could cover our church property, most of it.
Yeah.
If they're placed well. Especially we've got a pole out here that looks at the church, and it covers two sides of the building and the property. You could put that facing the church, the house itself, or the church itself,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be pretty. Especially
you just take it down and charge it when it needs charged, and that's
the only thing I'd be concerned about is getting a good signal. And around my house, the minute I walk out the door, my Wi-Fi is dead, and I can't get Wi-Fi because our Wi-Fi is in the basement. So, but anyway, that's an interesting thing. That might be the most practical thing I've seen today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Although this might be a good second option. I'm kind of interested in this. I really want to get one of these in for review.
Look, it's a MacBook.
Hoping to do so. Yeah, I'd like to get a MacBook in for review. Now, this is the Bridge iPad Pro keyboard. I did a review of the the version they made for the very first iPad, and it's excellent. It's a piece of aluminum with a keyboard in it. The keyboard was great. Feels exactly like a MacBook keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
It connects via Wi-Fi instead of the connector, the Apple.
Wi-Fi or Bluetooth?
It's Bluetooth. It's Bluetooth.
Oh, it's a Bluetooth LE. Okay, cool.
But I like I told earlier on my Surface, I keep the Bluetooth on my iPad on 24/7 just because I usually hook up a headset when I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? To me, what's interesting about that, as opposed to the Logitech Create keyboard, is that it doesn't. It's not a case for the back of the iPad Pro, and so because I looked at those on the day that the iPad Pro was released at the Apple Store, and the Logitech, while it had a better keyboard, I thought it made it so bulky, and so that's just connected to the bottom of your iPad, and I'll be interested to know how easily the iPad can slip out of it, because there are times with my current iPad Pro here, I just take off this real easily, and I've just got the tablet by itself. So
you notice he keeps showing that off, Kevin. He keeps bringing that in, finding reasons to bring that into.
No, I'm not finding reasons, but we're talking about an iPad keyboard here, and so what intrigues me about that is you've got what looks like a really nice keyboard, and Bridge is known for their keyboards, and how easily can you remove the iPad Pro from that?
The two versions I've tested, one for the Mini and then for the original iPad, it was pretty simple. You basically just you hold down the keyboard and pull up on the iPad, and it came right out. It takes a little bit of force, which is good because you don't want it to slide out really easily. And so it was nice. I thought it was very well done. And then
good balance between ease of use and security.
Yeah, then putting it back in, I would put the keyboard down on a desk. I would flip the little, things that hold it, and then I would just like that, and it would go right in fairly easily with a little bit of force, and then fold up. It does feel like you're carrying a MacBook, and so I'm certain that this is going to feel like carrying a MacBook, and that's why I didn't like the Logitech keyboard, because if I'm going to carry a MacBook, I'm just going to carry my MacBook.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that might be the only complaint against it, but for people who don't mind that, I think this would be a good...
You want to do real long-term typing on the iPad, that's...
And you just want to bring one device, and you want to be able to pull the iPad out of the keyboard and play games or watch videos or sit in your bed in the hotel room or in the couch at the friend's house or wherever it is that you're traveling to.
Kevin, personal use question for you. What are you preaching from lately? Are you using your iPad Pro or are you using your Surface?
My iPad.
Okay.
It's simpler.
Yeah.
It's just the iOS operating system is simpler, and that's why I've been using it.
That's why I teach from it too.
It's lighter and thinner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I pull the keyboard off of it
Mm-hmm.
and set it down and on the front pew and pick it up after the service is over. So, all right. I haven't even looked at this one. I don't know anything about it. Did you guys see anything about this? It's a power.
For the Apple Watch.
It's an Apple Watch power bank, which Antoine would say that just shows you that the Apple Watch isn't designed correctly.
Well, but I would disagree. I had problems with my watch keeping power the first 2 days I had it.
Yeah,
and
I know.
And I complained, and I went and bought an extra cord to have in my truck, and then like after 2 days, it just started. It's never run out of power since. And so now I have, I think, 2 extra cords. But anyway, I think that's an unnecessary product unless you are 48 hours without a charge. I mean, without being able to charge it up.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would say if you're doing an overnight,
a camping maybe,
unravel your charger from the dock that you bought for your desktop. I mean, for your nightstand. I've got a nice one that I was given, and it's useful. You take it out, and you got to go through and mess with it. This thing, you put on your key ring, and it's always there. So I guess it would be useful. I honestly didn't even know what it was because I didn't spend any time before the show looking at it. Limited appeal because not a lot of people have Apple Watches.
Right.
But, Huawei makes great phones. I don't like Huawei's interface, so I've tested 3 Huaweis. I've got one at home that is just sitting there being unused. It's kind of our family's backup phone.
I'm just glad you know how to pronounce the company's name.
That's right. But you put a nice Android overlay. Android allows you to skin the look. I wish that Apple would do that. And you skin it with something else, a different launcher, and they're great. I think they make good stuff. And of course, the new Nexus phones from Google are made by it. So
are they really?
Everybody's real interested in Huawei. Before the Nexus phones, hardly anybody cared about them. But so this is an interesting product. We've got a hands-on if you're really interested in it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it unless you guys want to talk more about it.
That looks almost exactly like an iPhone 6.
Yeah, or like any other phone these days, because that's basically what all the phones look like today.
Yeah.
No, it's just
slab of glass with a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom, and
it's the way the top works. If the camera moves a little bit over, but it just I'm looking at it going, that looks like an Apple product, and that's a compliment. I'm not trying to insult.
Right.
It looks like it's built well.
It's hard to really, I think, differentiate yourself as far as design, and then when you do, for example, Huawei made one of them with that little bubble thing on the back for the camera, and everybody complained about it. I didn't think it was that big a deal. The back of it is rounded, which could be my son hates that. He had a phone that had a rounded back and hated it the whole time he had it. But
it's either going to be easier to hold or really a pain in the neck to hold.
I've had HTC has rounded back, and I like it. I
think it depends on the way that your hands tend to grip things.
Is that the fingerprint reader? That's annoying.
Really?
Yeah, the LGs all have those.
On the back, yeah.
On the back, and my son likes his, but I don't care for the back fingerprint. I don't know, it just feels better to me. Maybe it's just what I'm used to, and I haven't forced myself to work with a back fingerprint reader for days.
Yeah, you have to teach yourself the muscle memory to find it, and that's the big struggle.
I played with one for a few hours. My son and I swapped phones for a few hours just to see, and we just switched SIM cards, and I hated it the whole time. So, these Jaybirds earbuds are really good quality. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced them or not. If you're looking for earbuds, these are some pretty nice ones.
Well, I'm afraid to look for them now in case they're all switched to Lightning connectors. So.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I
hope Apple doesn't do that. I think
they're going to.
I
know, and that would just be.
People hate it. There'll be 3 groups. Some people are going to hate it. Other people who, if Apple, sold a box of rocks and put I on it, they'd all think it's the greatest box of rocks that was ever sold. And then there's going to be people in the middle who will hate it, and then they'll change and decide they like it after they use it if it's designed really well.
Well, and I'm actually a bit indifferent, but but I purchased a number of these through Groupon because they had them cheaper, so that because I was always losing them. So I purchased like 3 or 4 of them, and I think they're all going to be obsolete in a year.
And I mean, the digital signals, it's a better. You don't get the analog interference, and
they'll make a dongle.
I'm sure.
I do want this. I would love.
You're excited about this. Is this the one that we were looking at earlier?
No. I have the one was the golf cart, but I do. This is Parrot's first fixed wing drone. But
and what does that mean, fixed wing drone?
Well, it's an airplane instead of a quadcopter, so it has to fly and have lift and stuff. But this way, that's high end. You actually can connect it to your tablet or your phone, and you could set a flight plan for it, and then return it home. So you can go fly here, and then fly here, and then fly here. I think you can change the elevation and then come home.
But how much space does it need to land? Because I think of over in down the road in Louisville, there's a park that was used by airplane hobbyists for years before drones hit the scene.
Right.
And everyone always lost their first one because it would just be destroyed the first time they tried to land it.
Right.
So does this need room to land?
It probably needs a little bit of room, but again, it's autopilot home, so I'm not landing it.
Autopilot.
I would not want a fixed wing aircraft that I had to land on my own because I would destroy it. But unless I had the first person goggles, have you ever seen those? You can actually see the guy wearing it there in the preview. But I like the idea.
It costs a lot of money, doesn't
it? It probably costs a lot of money. I would really like this because I would like to take it up to our camp and fly it around up there and get help people see how it's laid out from in the air and be able to take video of different events that are going on. I would love it's not legal anymore, unfortunately, but we're going to do ocean baptisms at our annual session in September, and it would be cool to be able to fly it over that and look at it. So there's things where I could really see wanting to do it and using it, and of course I'll never be able to afford it, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm looking for the price here. Parrot drones themselves are really expensive.
Yeah, and they're the best. Eventually I would like to move up to a Parrot. I have the little Hubsci, whatever the model number is, that I don't even have to register, and I really do like it. It's been a lot of fun to learn how to use, but I would like to go up to a Parrot eventually.
Yeah, it said there's no price on it yet.
Yeah, which means I'll never be able to afford it. So that's good. But it would be cool.
All right.
And it's a 4K camera, Rick.
Wow, that's future proof.
And then we got BB-8.
Love BB-8.
This is the band that controls the BB-8 robot.
Yeah, but you have the Force.
Yeah.
You can just
the Force.
move your hand.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Is there anything else that we haven't seen yet that you guys?
Well, let me show off my flying golf cart. You got that up?
Yeah, there it is.
That's right. This is something that probably will never exist just for regulatory problems, but holy smokes, do I want one.
That's your flying car.
That's my flying car. It's actually, it looks like a quadcopter. It's an octave. There's a blade on top and a blade on bottom. And it's got a one-person cabin, and you sit down and you program your destination, and it flies you there. And I want that. That's what I want.
Looks so futuristic there, doesn't it? With all the windmills and
everything.
I'm afraid it's going to hit one of those windmills.
Well, that's the problem. Now, and we were talking right before it. This is probably not going to happen for a very long time, but this is to me that makes me want a self-driving car even more, because I cannot say how much I cannot stand driving. I hate driving.
It's different than when we were 17 years old.
I didn't even like driving at 17.
No, I loved the freedom when I was 17, but now it just stinks. But if we all had self-driving cars, see, I won't be comfortable with it until everybody has a self-driving car, because there's always going to be some maniac who's
he's driving around like a lunatic.
Right.
And that's all the self-driving cars on the road, all the accidents they've had because some stupid person cuts it off or does something you're not supposed to do. But I admit, self-driving car for me, kids to school.
Oh yeah, just put them on there and you sleep in.
Go get them.
Yeah.
Like I'm typing up a blog entry. Yeah, go pick them up. That's fine. Wife needs a ride home. Go pick her up.
There was one company that was at CES that didn't get a whole lot of notice, but I'm just going to bring him up because we had him on a number of months ago, and that's CleanInt was there, and they're still plugging away. And in my Surface Pro 4 review, I, of course, gave a shout-out to, let's see, where, tablet, Clean Edge, Clean Cable, which is, in my opinion, where is it? It's not loading very well. Microsoft and every other company that makes a little brick should call Twan up and license this technology to include in their device.
I really need to order a couple of those.
This thing is, I mean, I love it. And I need to get another one for my, I've got 2 Surface Pro chargers, but...
Kevin, can you make that full screen?
Yeah, I'm just trying to here.
And they've changed it. You can only do full screen on like YouTube for a lot of these videos now.
Well,
it's the way it's embedded.
Yeah, but I've noticed that happening in the last couple of weeks.
Let's get ahead where you actually can see it. See, it sticks to the brick like that,
okay.
And then it's going to flip up. Get rid of my web clipper. Here in a second.
I need that for my Acer that I'm actually using for the Hangouts today.
There we go. Here's where he flips it up. See,
so it's kind of like the way the Apple brick works.
Similarly, yeah. It's not built in, obviously, but
right. I like it.
I do too.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and it's like Microsoft designed their cable to work with it, but then didn't have it. It's almost like they had planned for something like this, because notice they got the little connectors on both sides of the cable. So you wrap the one way and you wrap the other one the other way, and it's so nice and neat and perfect.
The one thing I'm interested in is it makes it more bulky.
No, it doesn't. Trust
me. It doesn't? Okay.
I promise you that this is a lot...
I agree. It would be easier than not having it.
It's a lot more streamlined than carrying it without it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because without it, you're going to have to wrap the things up around something, and you might wrap it around a brick or...
And you know, my Acer cord has that horrible little piece of Velcro that, you know, you can wrap around the cord, but then it still becomes untangled by the time that you're actually going to unwrap it.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why this is perfectly designed. And that's what I like about, you know, CleanInt. Twan and his designers are genius.
I mean, good stuff.
Notice how, you know, he says you can take out just part of it, so you don't have to unravel the entire thing if you got.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that's one of the things there's a good old Twan. Oh, on our podcast right there.
Yeah.
So he's a good guy, and he's doing exciting things in Vietnam, and praise the Lord that he's someone who takes his company and doesn't just go and buy yachts. Instead, he buys schools to educate children.
Yeah, I definitely need to order one of those for the Acer, because I think I told you I upgraded the Acer. It's all SSD now, and I maxed out the RAM to 16, and I'm going to keep it as long as it's still plugging away.
And of course, he's got the Clean Stylus, which I think is the perfect holder for the Surface Pro 3 pencil. The Surface Pro 4, you know, does a little bit better job of keeping it with the magnet. And then this Clean Edge, you know, that's kind of neat. He sent me a pack of them, and I've already got a really good quality car mount. So I have to be honest and say I haven't used it, but it attaches to your car, and
that might be something my wife could use in her Spark.
Yeah, you know. So he's got some good stuff. But they were at CES, and he was telling me about it. They're a good company. We'll get to that in just a second. But see, the Surface Pro 4.
Yeah.
Whoop, you know, normally it just snaps in there really quick.
I think you need Twan's pin. holder.
Yeah.
Since you lost the pen
Bye.
holder. That was a great demonstration.
Normally, it just it snaps on really good. So I really don't need it and don't want it for this one, but I gave my son my Surface Pro 3, and of course he still uses it, and it's perfect. Microsoft they should license that technology to
or at least put all of his stuff in their stores.
And I'd like to see him do one for the Surface of the iPad Pro. I don't know if he's gonna make one or not, but it'd be cool if he did. Well, that's CES. Unless you guys got something else that you were excited about that happened that you saw.
Nothing in CES.
Okay. We do have one other thing that you were interested in, Wes. Tell us what Remix OS is.
Yeah, Remix OS is a kind of a redesigned Android for a desktop format. And I know, Kevin, you got they were doing a little box that they were doing Kickstarter on that you can plug it into anything. And I thought that was kind of cute. That was all right. But what really intrigues me is now they're offering the Remix OS that you can download and you can throw it on a USB 3 stick, and you can run Remix OS off of that. And that to me is a little bit more fascinating. I kind of like that.
You know what this looks like?
What's that?
You know what this looks like? Just this right here, the start menu.
Yeah.
In the system tray dividing the way they have it. This is Android, everybody. This is not Chrome OS.
Not Chrome OS, but it looks like Chrome OS.
What if Google finally wedded Chrome OS to Android? This is what it would look like, probably.
Well, I think they said they were going to do that, and everyone got upset, and they said, well, not exactly, but I think they are.
But this is what this is what it looked like. Kevin's exactly right.
Yeah.
The multitasking looks right. I think it does, split screen really, really easily. I just like the fact that I can plug it into anything that I want, and I can take it with me. And I'm I have an Android, of original Google Nexus 7, and it's not even charged right now. I barely use it anymore.
What's that remind you of over here?
What's that?
What's this look like over here?
That just looks like the
that's the
Surface. What do you call it? That looks like a Surface Pro.
The type cover. So they're showing what you could do if you had it on Windows. It's not Windows because it's Windows key, but
yep.
Anyway,
it looks fascinating to me, and I like that idea of carrying my computer around with me. I can plug it in and boot it up, and I have it's preset up to all my settings. I think that's kind of an interesting concept to be able to go through.
Let me just share my experience with the box. I won't get into all the stuff about getting it. There was a big snafu. They sent it to me. It bricked. They sent me a replacement. Only they didn't send it to me. They sent it to someone in England. It took them forever to finally send me the real replacement, and I got it. So I have it now. And to be honest with you, I haven't really used it a whole lot. I hooked it up to. I have a little TV in my home office that I plug things into.
Yeah.
But it's usable. I mean, if I was forced to, again, that's the key operative word there, forced. If I was forced to, I could be productive with this as a desktop or laptop computer. If I was forced to.
Yeah.
So, it's what I have is the Mini right here, the Remix Mini. And you see it's this little tiny computer. I plugged in a Logitech combo keyboard and mouse into the back of it so that I had it. That's how it shows you exactly how big it is. It does do 64-bit. It's not the full thing. I didn't even realize it had this power button on the top, and I was freaking out trying to figure out how to turn it on, and then turn it on. But it does have Ethernet, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, and the Bluetooth is solid. The Wi-Fi is solid. I plugged it in the Ethernet and was able to download all the apps I wanted to put on it pretty quickly. One of the problems that Android just has in general that is so frustrating is the operating system itself acts like it doesn't want you to have external storage. And so it really fights you. And so I haven't tested yet whether Remix, whether Jide, the company that makes this, whether they've done a good job. Some devices have done a good job of forcing Android to let you install apps and content on a external, or like a flash drive, a micro USB card, USB drive in this case.
That was one of their big things, Kev, is that they have the file manager and they're supposed to be able to use external storage.
Yes, it's there. The question is, what can you install on it? For example, I've got the Logos Bible app, and I want to download an awful lot. It's going to eat up this little 8 gigabyte hard drive very quickly. Because you really only get about 4 gigs because of the operating system, and that's just going to eat it up. What this is intended for is for you to plug it in, put the HBO Go app, Netflix, all the streaming apps, and then plug in a USB drive with your own personal pictures, music, video files on. They don't really, they say it's Office compatible. For what I do, it would not last very long because I install Olive Tree. I install on all my Android devices. I install Olive Tree. I install Logos on it, and Pocket Bible, because I've got stuff in those 3 different programs that I don't have. Like I've got a commentary in Pocket Bible that I don't have in the other 2. I've got commentaries in Olive Tree that I don't have in the other 2. I'm waiting for a nice Android Accordance app.
It's coming.
And sometime between now and 2099. No, I'm kidding about that.
My strong hope and belief is that it'll be out this year.
Okay. Well, I hope so too. So,
I'm now obliged to ask: will the Touch Atlas be out this year?
That I don't know.
Darn. Okay.
But it's an interesting product, and if you really wanted a Android-based keyboard, not an Android TV, but an Android-based box like this, the Remix Mini is good. Like you, I'll probably.
And again, Kevin, I'm more interested in being able to download it on a USB drive and just run it on any computer hardware that's anywhere near me. I think that's fascinating to me.
So you gotta, let's see here. You have to stay tuned to updates, subscribe. So I guess I have to. Oh no, here it is.
You can download now.
Legacy and EFI. So which one do I want?
Wouldn't EFI? That's the EFI is the replacement of BIOS, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd probably want that.
Why would PC package, Legacy or EFI? What's the difference?
It's the boot manager.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with the operating system? Oh, is it what it's compatible with?
Because it needs to be able to say I'm bootable.
So in other words,
it on older hardware, you do it on EFI hardware.
If you have a computer with the EFI, then you want the EFI. If you have I'm a little slow. It's cold in my
That's okay. So if you're on a Mac, you want the EFI.
Well, I am downloading it right now.
I need to go out and get a USB 3 flash drive just to try it out.
Well, here, we can look at their YouTube video if you want.
I think it's interesting. And the box is cute. Again, I don't have a use for the box, but if I want to play with Android, that would be a good way to play with Android.
Okay, this is I've seen this guy who reviews stuff on YouTube, and he likes to talk for 20 minutes before he actually reviews it.
Yep.
But this shows you the interface of what it looks like a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's intriguing. I'm a little bit jaded, to be honest with you, because I've seen about 4 different Android PCs, and I have hated all of them up to this point.
Right.
And so I'm not as excited. I backed this before I ever saw those 4, and so I was excited about it when I backed it. And then in the interim, I got the one from TronSmart. I got HP Android laptop, which I really wanted to love and just hated.
Right.
So we'll say goodbye to Mr. Nice Guy here.
Yeah, just kind of I'm interested in it because it costs me the price of a USB stick to try out.
Right. So it's interesting. So go look at it at jide.com, and we'll put a link to that when I post this on Theotek.com a little bit later. All right. Well, Anything else before we're coming up on our hour? Anything else that jumps off the page at you for CES, or just something interesting, or maybe some inside ball that you want to share about Accordance that you're not really supposed to tell anybody, but you don't mind because it's just the three of us?
Nobody else watching, Rick. Go ahead.
No, but we do have some really good updates coming out very soon, including the 2.3 finally is going to be coming out pretty quickly, and then I won't say what's in it, but there's going to be an 11.3 on the desktop that's going to bring some new features at no cost.
It'll automatically witness to all your friends, and they'll get saved, guaranteed, or your money back.
And perform searches just when you think of them, without.
Just when you think of them,
Aren't you guys due for 12 yet?
Normally we're on a 2-year cycle, so I'm not announcing anything here, but you could do the math. You could think of, okay, so we released 11 in fall of 2014.
Yeah,
so you can do your own math.
I'm doing the math. I'm just shocked that you're still putting out incremental updates that are adding new features.
We've always done that. We add new features, and with when it's a point number, not a point number, but we do that for free. It's just value add. We don't charge you $10 to get new features along the way, and we just do that, and then the real big features come when the
point releases.
Yeah,
the full point
number.
Yeah, and
release.
Yeah. And I get that. I'm just surprised because you've already done some really cool updates with
and there's still more to come.
Version. I'm just like, there's still more. Like you guys, it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
Yeah, I clicked on that, and while you guys were talking, everybody was looking at me.
And while and I won't say what it is, but for any Spanish listeners out there, we'll have a couple of new items on Monday. That are going to be released.
What do they call that? The Reina Valeria, the
We've had that, yeah, but we're taking it all a step further.
So. Oh, I thought you were just going to say you were going to update your version of that Bible. That would be really.
We've got lots of Spanish Bibles, but we're going to do something beyond that.
I'm just playing a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, this has been fun, and our next show, as we said at the beginning, will be on Tuesday night if you're watching live instead of Friday mornings. If that keeps you from watching this, guess what? Next Friday morning, you could still watch it on YouTube. As always, when we're done, within usually 5 to 50 minutes, depending on the week, it shows up on YouTube. We have no control over that, but YouTube does. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to make sure you get each episode. And then also take a look at Theotek.com as we post. That's where we get the show notes. Links to the podcast if you want to listen to it on audio. Maybe you want to listen to us while you're out running around. A lot of times we're showing things on screen, so I think the best way to do it is just watch it live or watch it on YouTube. But we make the audio version available on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio, and as a result of that, it's available on just about every podcast app that you can find. If you can't get it on your podcast app, then just go to Theotek.com and you can paste that link into your podcast, and it should find the RSS that's programmed into our site.
So, Kevin, to be clear, are we recording on Tuesday of this coming week?
Tuesday night.
So okay.
Yeah, we were going to take like 10 days, but there was some confusion over whether we were recording this morning or not. We just
there was a change.org petition that we not sit out a week.
That's right. We are. All of you who are watching live now are sitting there going, these guys are really loopy. They're stupid. No, anyway, we thank you, though, for checking us out. And as always, we do this out of a labor of love, and we appreciate you. If you want to hit us up, then send a tweet my way, K.A. Purcell. Where can they find you guys?
Go ahead, Rick.
At This Lamp on Twitter, and one day I'll get back to blogging at thislamp.com. And of course, I blog every week at the Accordance blog, accordancebible.com/blog.
Wes?
I'm at painfullyhopeful.me, and I'm still doing the daily blogging discipline. So I'm a year and counting now.
Yep.
I thought about making that my New Year's resolution, and then by about January 5th, I realized that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I don't make resolutions anymore. About 4 years ago, I resolved to never make another New Year's resolution. So
you kept it. That's good.
And I have. I've kept it all of those years. Good. All right. Thanks, guys. We're out.
Have a good day.